I use Wallace as the microphone.
Yeah.
Is that too distracting?
No, I would recommend you using Wallace as the microphone.
Do I get clapped in again?
Yeah, can you sit down so I can just make sure it's straight? Wallace.
Oh, fuck. Sink into this.
It looks pretty straight. Yeah. It actually looks like a microphone. Oh, I could just put the mic inside his head.
Oh, you actually could. I didn't have to make an opening.
Nice. Got my questions. I think we're good to go. At the start, I'll get you to just do like a power through, like recap of the trip, like just like not in big detail, just like where you started, where you.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
G'day legends, welcome back to Mikey Talk. Today we have episode 30. It's another special travel episode, but this time it wasn't me on the road. We welcome back returning guest for the second time for a solo episode, my brother Daniel. He's just been on a pilgrimage in Egypt for about, how long was it?
5 weeks.
5 weeks, just chilling in the desert, doing a bunch of Arab things. He just got back home, so yeah, we'll sit down with him and hear all about his trip. So let's welcome Daniel Gayed.
Woo!
From Egypt back to Melbourne.
Feels good to be back.
Does it?
Back in the throne. The Mikey Talk throne.
Mikey Talk throne.
Yeah.
Pretty special for you to be here 3 times.
Yeah. Yep. It's an honour. It's a privilege.
Do you want to give us a power through of your trip?
Yeah, so I'll give a quick rundown of where I've been. So flew into Cairo for a few days and then headed off about 5 hours south to a small village called Bahariya, which is where a Bedouin tribe lived that took us for an adventure through the desert, really deep out in the western desert. We were camping and forward driving and just living the way the Bedouin people do out in the desert, which was like an incredible experience. Then we headed back in through to Cairo and went to Luxor, Aswan, saw a bunch of the temples and sacred sites there. And then we went out to Sinai and stayed in Dahab on the Red Sea, and it was like a beautiful snorkeling spot and a nice relaxing place to be. And yeah, probably one of my other favourite places in Egypt. And yeah, then went back to the oasis and back into the desert again towards the end of the trip because we all loved it so much and wanted to spend more time out in the middle of the desert.
Just chilling in the sand.
Yeah, it's the best. It's like camping out in the desert. There's no one there. We were that deep out there and so peaceful. And yeah, I'll send some photos through so you can see what it looked like. But it's just like the most incredible landscapes I've ever seen.
Nice, that's sick. Well, maybe to start off then, let's go back to Byron Bay, the moment when the idea for this trip first happened. So how did it all come about?
Yeah, so I was planning on going to Egypt by myself, especially I've always wanted to go my whole life, and our dad was born there, so we have the family culture, and we used to have a lot of the culture in our family when we were kids, but it's we still got a lot of it around, but I kind of wanted to go there and bring more of that back. So I was already planning on going, and then I was at a party and I met Solomon, shout out Solomon, and we were chatting away, and he had just come back from Egypt and was telling me all about this this trip that was being organized by him and Ariel, shout out Ariel. And the trip that they were organizing was just so aligned with what I wanted to do, and I ended up staying in contact with them, and we formed a small group of like-minded individuals, and ended up all meeting up at different times in Egypt together and kind of built the trip together, and it was incredible.
That's sick. So just by pure accident, you just met someone that had just been there, just
by chance, and it was incredible because doing it on my own would have been fun, but doing it in the way we did, having the connections we did, and Ariel had spent a lot of time in Egypt in the past, and having connections to be able to take us to places, and having trusting people to take you around was a really special way to do it. And the people we were with were it's we built a family now. It's a proper soul family. So
that's sick.
Yeah. I'm glad that it all aligned and just worked out the way it did.
First one of us kids to make it back.
Yeah. Back to the homeland.
Back to the homeland. Speaking of that, so Dad was born in Alexandria, and I remember growing up, he had like quite negative memories of Egypt, and like used to have like bad things to say about it. How was it over there from your perspective?
Honestly, like, Egypt is incredible. The people are so happy, and they're just like, they're so free, and that's the best way I can put it. And there's a lot of propaganda and negative information about countries like Egypt, and Egypt specifically, like, going into it, I didn't have any expectations, like not knowing what it was going to be like, and I was absolutely amazed by how hospitable everyone was and how welcoming. Like, they say welcome all the time, and they're just always making you feel welcome, and they're providing you food. You get invited to people's houses. Everyone's trying to just look after you and make you feel really welcome and safe. And I felt so safe the whole time in Egypt. There was not really many negative things that happens other than like the hustle culture, and people who like own shops and stuff, they'll like hustle you a lot and like try to like drag you in, and when they see you're a tourist, the prices they give you on stuff is outrageous. And but you just got to be smart and know how to talk to them and know when you're getting scammed. But you learn it pretty quickly. You learn how things work, and even still, like, I had this understanding that like they're not trying to harm me. These people are living in a country where their money's worth nothing, and they're trying to survive and feed their families. So they're doing what they can. But like in general, like the happiest, most welcoming people I've ever met.
Yeah, you just got to respect the hustle.
Yeah, respect the hustle, that's it. And you just make it, like, I found the best way around that was make them laugh. Like, if you kind of have a serious face, you become like an easy target for them to annoy. But if you just like crack a joke with them or make them laugh and just keep it lighthearted, they tend to leave you alone a bit more and let you go on your way. So
it's nice to know.
Yeah.
So you travelled with a small tour group into the desert to stay with the Bedouin people.
Yep.
What was it like the first moment meeting them?
Incredible. And so Abdu was the name of the leader of the tribe, and he took us under his wing, and he runs an eco lodge where all the food that they eat is grown on their farm. It's all organic food, and even the animals, they all raise and grow their own animals for food and milk and cheese and all that. And again, like, he's just the most welcoming person. He really like works hard to make us feel comfortable, and like, when I say well fed, like, it's constantly having food. Like, we never went hungry. I actually put on a lot of weight in the first half of the trip because like we were just eating so much food, and it was the best food I've ever had. Like, incredible Egyptian food. It's all fresh from the farm. And the people there, they were just, like I said, they just work. They work, and it's to make us happy, essentially. And they love going out to the desert. Like, for them, it's the best thing. So, like, we'd be at the lodge in the oasis, but they're, like, hanging out to get out to the desert. And because, like, the group we had was so amazing, like, they loved us. And, it was, like, really exciting for them all to be with us. And we got along so well. So, going out to the desert with them and just, like, forward driving through the dunes, everyone's having the best time. They're just, like, constantly rolling joints and like, it's hard to put words to how incredible it is, and they're by far the most amazing people that I've ever connected with in another country.
Why do you think they like the desert so much? Like, is it similar to like people that love snowboarding, they go out in the snow, or people that love surfing and they go like out in the water? Is it that kind of vibe?
I'd say it's because it's what they know, and the Bedouin people, they're nomadic tribes that have moved across the deserts for thousands of years, and that's what they know and what they love. Like, they're desert people, and they know the desert so well. The navigation skills they have, like, they know where they're going all the time, and they had so many amazing spots there, and they just love being out away from people, and because that's, like I said, that's how they do things. And for literally thousands and thousands of years, all the way from like Morocco through all of Africa into the Middle East. There's even Bedouin tribes in like northern India and Afghanistan.
Oh, really?
And stuff like that. Yeah.
They're kind of everywhere.
They've got tribes everywhere. But that, and just being out in the desert, and because these ones where you're with, they kind of do tour groups and take people out, and they just love meeting people and hearing and exchanging stories and like knowledge and skills, and like we were teaching them some things, and like our ways of like healing with like medicine and different medicines and stuff, and then they were like teaching us things from their knowledge as well. So having that exchange of different cultures is really special to them as well.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
Tell me about daily life in the desert, like from morning to night. What's a regular day look like?
So sleeping in tents out in the sand, and you'd wake up. We'd usually start the day with some breath work or meditation, just to kind of drop in and into the day, and then a massive feast for breakfast, and always a tea after breakfast. They call it Bedouin tea, and they have this special blend of tea. It's like a strong black tea with some like mint and sage and some other herbs that they grow, and they fucking love tea. Like the amount of tea breaks you have a day is incredible. So yeah, big meal and a tea, and then each day was kind of different, because the desert's so big. Like there's so much to see, and the Bedouins know all the good spots to go. So we'd go 4-wheel driving, and they just take us to different spots, and then we'd stop and have lunch, and just get to explore. And if you want like spend time on your own, just go off for a walk for a while. It was honestly like it was a mix of relaxing and moving around, but I'd say relaxing was like the biggest part of it. Just enjoying and being present in the surroundings and just admiring the landscapes really, and yeah, a lot of time to just really soak in the experience, which is it was good that we did it that way, because it's just so surreal. You want to just like really take it all in, and yeah, just a lot of playing games. There was chess being played a lot. But for me, like just exploring was the best part. We also did have sandboards as well, so we did some sandboarding down the dunes, which was cool. Yeah.
And then the sun goes down, you set up your tents again, and then what do you have for dinner?
It was kind of different every night, but generally it'd be a mix of so we'd always start with the soup, and the soup we had was different every time, and I think that they were making it from different broths from the meats that we were having. And so they bring meat from the farm, so we'd be having different nights. We'd have chicken or duck, sometimes beef, but not often, lamb, and it's all cooked on the fire out in the desert, and it was like the most amazing meat. Like sometimes they'd cook it on top of the fire, sometimes they'd put it in a pot and like bury it in coals and sand, and then put more coals on top, and it'd be like a 2-hour slow cook, so it'd be really tender, juicy. And like the spices they put on it is just incredible. And then like a lot of veggies as well, like a lot of eggplant, zucchini, and they like spice it and do different things with it every time. And then a lot of rice and bread as well, because they're very heavy on their carbs. Got to give them that energy.
The bread.
Yeah, carbs and black teas what keeps them going.
Coffee?
Yeah, coffee in the mornings too. Yeah.
You were travelling around on camels. What was that like?
Well, we weren't actually travelling around on camels. I did do a camel ride, but we didn't have the camels with us when we were deep in the desert. That was like a separate thing, because we were mostly we had the 4-wheel drive, so we were using them to get around, because you can obviously cover a lot more distance in the time that we had. But I did go on a camel ride with 2 of the boys, Paddy and Jay, and then we had 2 Bedouin guys with us who were kind of leading the camels, and it was like a 6-hour-ish ride with a few stops here and there, more tea breaks, through like a really beautiful part of the desert, and then into sunset, and just like watching the sunset riding the camels was like one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had. Even though I did get thrown off.
I was gonna ask that.
I got thrown off a camel twice. I had a hat that was really windy, and the hat blew off in the wind, and it went in front of the camel, and the camel fucking shit itself and jumped up like a horse would, and like bucked me off, and the saddle I was sitting on snapped, the rope snapped, and I went flying off. Then I got up, and the Bedouin guy like came over to me and made sure I was alright, and as soon as he saw I was okay, he started pissing himself laughing. He thought it was the funniest thing. Then he tied it back on, and I got on, but I think the camel was just like agitated and didn't want anyone sitting on it anymore, so it fucking bucked me off again.
It was done.
And there were massive camels too. Like lucky the sand was real soft, because it did hurt. Like I had a sore back for like 3 days after that, but it didn't ruin the experience. It was funny. I was sore, but it was I wish someone had it on video though, because it would have looked hilarious. I had the biggest camel too. So.
Maybe I'll do a paint drawing.
Yeah, of me getting thrown off.
So you came home with a bag and socks full of rocks, crystals, like fossils and like ancient tools and stuff. Tell me about discovering these.
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, like exploring was like my favorite thing to do out there, and you can find anything because the sand is always shifting from the wind, and the level of the sand's always changing. Different things are being uncovered, and the desert, like 40 million years ago roughly, it was all underwater. It was an ocean. So you find shell fossils and stones that have been created from volcanic pressure and volcanic reactions underground that are all exposed and on top of the sand now. One of the guys found a megalodon tooth, which is incredible. Yeah,
no way.
Yeah, in like perfect condition, about this big.
Wow.
And that was like towards the end of the trip, and one of the other boys said from the start of the trip that he really wanted to find a megalodon tooth. And then one of the other guys found one, and the Bedouin said they'd only ever found one ever before.
That's crazy.
So it's not like something that's that common to find. So that was one of the most special things that we found. And then just finding like clusters of crystals, and the fossils are incredible, and just knowing how old they are, like 40 million years is a fucking long time. So I tried to fit a whole bunch of. I found so many things that I couldn't even take them all home. I had to like leave some behind. There's like so much out there that like even the Bedouins, they don't have any problem with taking things because there's just such an abundance, like millions and millions all over the desert. So it's good to have some treasures to take home and remind me of the place. Yeah.
Are you thinking of making jewelry out of something?
Yeah. That's like a kind of vision that I have to everywhere I travel, and the things that I find in nature, and make jewelry out of them and share them with people around the world. I think it'd be a pretty special thing to have them.
Nice.
Traveling so far across the world, different treasures from different places.
Yeah, I'll buy one.
Thanks, bro. Cheers for the support.
Christmas presents.
Yeah.
So you said like the Bedouin people lived in the desert for thousands of years, and I guess they've like held a lot of knowledge that's been passed down through generations and stuff. Was there anything that you learnt from them about traveling or survival?
In terms of survival, not so much, because they do it a lot differently now. Like obviously they've got four-wheel drives, and they used to use camels. So like, and they fucking love the four-wheel drives. Like it's like their children. But yeah, in terms of survival, not so much. Just like mostly on how to be like conservative with water, and like how to stash things and bury things and know where they are. Like today, like petrol is like one of the most important things for them. And then also like, you come into the risk of cars breaking down. So they have like their systems that they communicate with. Like we did have one car that broke down, and then instead of that person coming with us that day, they had to stay behind while they like sent another person out. And they also like, it's kind of weird because some phones get reception in some places, which like I still don't understand how, because you're like so deep out into the desert. So they're able to communicate sometimes with people back at the lodge and stuff like that if they need things.
Starlink?
Oh, well, that's an interesting one, because I asked them about that, and Starlink is blocked in Egypt. It doesn't work, but there's like no communication around it. They were saying because Libya borders with Egypt, and when you're in Libya it works, but as soon as you get to the border and step over it, it just stops working. So there's some like intentional block for Starlink in Egypt. So that's maybe a rabbit hole to go down. But it's just, I mean, the people we were with, they have an abundance of food because they live in an oasis where there's water, and they grow, and they call each other cousins, like all the cousins, they're all growing different things, so they have an abundance of food. They never really run out, which I'm sure would have been a lot different when they were fully nomadic back in the day and traveling by camel, which would take like days and weeks to get to where they were going. But it was pretty cool. There like were some Roman springs around in the desert too when the Romans were here. So like, seeing like different ways that people were getting water, and sometimes like the wells that they were digging to get water were like over 100 meters deep. So like that's the amount of effort they had to go to just to get water. And the camels as well. The camels know where the water is. So like the camels are quite sacred to them because they were their like survival tools essentially, because they were the mode of transport. They were also found water for them. They could navigate, they could find food. So yeah, the camels played a big role in their survival for sure.
So they're like compasses with extra features.
yeah. And the stars too, like using the stars to navigate is an incredible skill to have.
Yeah. Did anything change internally, like yourself, during your time there?
Yeah, definitely experienced a lot of growth. Like one of my intentions behind going to Egypt was to kind of, I knew that going there I was going to have more clarity and direction around like where I'm taking my life coming back, like from what's inspired me from the trip, and doing the trip the way we did with the group we had, where it was almost like a retreat in a way, where a lot of it was about dropping in, being present, going into meditation, doing some ceremonies as well in the desert. So yeah, in those settings, you get a lot of knowledge come out and come through, and a lot of sharing between all of us too. So the group we were with, it was like there was a bunch of mirrors, and we were all like seeing parts of ourselves in each other. So the inspiration we all got from each other, and I'd say the main thing for me is like how I can live my life more purposefully. And for me, that means like how I can contribute to the world and in the greater healing of people. And the way I see that is, we met like different people working on like regenerative projects and like eco lodges and farming and permaculture and ways to like heal the earth, and especially in Egypt where it's so dry and they've lost so much of their greenery. So for me, I'd love to go back and connect with these places again and contribute and work with them and into growing villages and growing farms. And there's an amazing story about the Blue Lotus and in like Egyptian mythology. It's a story of regeneration that talks about when the Blue Lotus returns to the Nile, that's when divine order will return to society in Egypt. So there's that big story in mythology that now I'm seeing connections to that and what's actually happening. And to have that ancestral connection to Egypt is pretty special. So I would definitely love to go back and get more involved in helping Egypt grow.
Yeah. Sick. Yeah. Kind of leads to my next question, which is, how has this trip changed your view on our heritage?
I don't know if it's really changed my view on our heritage, but definitely felt like the connection there and that blood connection to Egypt, and especially having a lot of Egyptian family around when we were kids, and then being back there and seeing the similarities in the culture, especially around the sacredness of food, and like how having a dinner and like a shared meal is like such an important thing and is such a special part of every day. And like bringing people together and having that sense of family, and that's what I really felt from Egyptians, that that real family kind of vibe of doing things together, and just sharing stories and making each other laugh and be happy. That's a very big part of the culture there. And just the food as well, like in general, it's just, it's incredible and like similar to what we were eating when we were young. But so I'd say I wouldn't say my view on our heritage has changed. It was just a nice kind of reminder of that being there and really feeling that culture we had when we were young, that I guess we didn't quite understand as much when we were kids. But
I guess because we don't have any like family really left here anymore, like it's been so long since we've had that, so then like going over there and being immersed in it would have been like nostalgic kind of as well.
Yeah, and even like the art style of like decorations and fabrics and things people have around their house, and there's always like a lounge space that's like specific to just sit around, and like a special lounge space, like every house kind of has one. Small details like that, and especially the decorations, and they make everything out of like fabrics like cotton and camel wool and a lot of handmade things from resources that they have, which is still like a big part of their culture. But you definitely do, especially in Cairo and the bigger cities, you do see how like the Western society is kind of infiltrating a bit. Like, big modern billboards and fancy looking jewelry shops, and it is starting to bleed in a bit. But I would say for the most part, it seems like Egypt's held on to its own culture pretty well.
What about music?
Outside of Cairo. Yeah, the music's still like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, yeah, a lot of like those weird kind of Arabic instruments and a lot of drums, a lot of percussions, and we were lucky enough to have some like musicians with us, with the Bedouin people. Like there was some days or nights where we were just sitting around the fire and everyone was like contributing, playing different instruments and having a jam. Sick. Essentially Arabic style.
Arab jam.
Yeah. And like the way they sing, like it's so different. But it's like, yeah, it's incredible. I might be able to send a video to you through actually of one of the nights where one of our last nights in the desert, Abdu surprised us and invited these two musicians that he knew from the village who came in, and one was playing this like big flute thing and the other one was a drummer, and we had all these instruments around and we were all just having a massive jam sesh.
That's
and
sick.
Drinking tea and smoking joints, smoking cigarettes, and yeah, it was so much fun and we were all just jamming together. And it's a good thing because most of them don't speak English, but music is like that universal language where you don't have to speak, but you can all have a good time and laugh and have fun together without needing to talk. So
that's cool.
It was really special.
Yeah, definitely send that video. I'll chuck it in.
Yeah.
So down to the last question now. You want to get your Egyptian passport, which we can because Dad has his birth certificate still. Mm-hmm. What's drawing you back to Egypt?
Oh, there's a lot. I felt so comfortable there, and like these projects that I mentioned earlier with permaculture and regrowing and building villages, that like sparked a kind of passion in me to want to contribute to that. So I'd say that's the main one, and the passport will give me the freedom to stay there longer and work if I want to work as well, and eventually one day buy land. Like that's something that's crossed my mind, and yeah, it'd be amazing to buy some land in Dad's country. So yeah, that, and yeah, the travel visa is only 30 days. So
true.
Which you can apply for extensions and all that, but just having the passport will give me the freedom to not have to worry about that and stay as long as I want. Because I do want to help these projects and stay with some of them pretty long term eventually. And yeah, not having to worry about the whole visa thing is yeah, much better. And also I was talking to an Egyptian lady in Dahab, and she was saying like having an Egyptian passport, you get things a lot cheaper because a lot of the prices they put for things is mostly for like tourists. So if you like say I went to like a restaurant and I like was getting food, I could like show them that I was Egyptian with the Egyptian passport, and I'd end up getting a cheaper meal.
Sick. Yeah,
because that's just how they make their money.
I like that.
A lot of tourism. So there's definitely benefits to having it, and also it's just good to have two different passports. I think in general, they would have like the Australian passport and the Egyptian ones would have different benefits for different places. So yeah. Yeah, I'm ready to become a fully Egyptian now.
Full Arab.
Yeah, but I'm definitely feeling drawn there, and not just Egypt too. Like I want to, with Mazara is the name of the group that Ariel, the vision that she's put together, which was the group that we had, and this was the first journey for that. And a part of that vision is to connect different communities around the world who are engaging in these kind of projects. So yeah, Egypt I think will be. It's the one that I'm feeling drawn to, but I do want to keep exploring around the world and connecting more of these people together. And I really think it's how we can contribute to healing the world in a time where it seems like we really need it, and we need more of these projects happening. And like land with tiny homes and helping the indigenous get their land back that's slowly being more and more taken away from them. And yeah, it's for me like. I feel like a sense of greater purpose for me in contributing to those spaces. So yeah, it's exciting.
Sick.
And I'm ready to start like working towards living more of a nomadic life in that sense. And that's the inspiration I guess I've taken from the Bedouin people as well, and seeing how for thousands of years they've lived a nomadic life, and they're all so happy, and they've been fortunate enough to not have to change their way of living. And yeah, they're so comfortable and happy and love sharing their ways with other people. So
sick.
Definitely feeling drawn back to that kind of a lifestyle.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'm keen to come live with you in the desert for a little bit. If it's not next year, the year after, and who knows,
Absolutely.
maybe we'll just retire there and just be little sand devils.
Yes, little sand goblins.
Little sand goblins.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Nice. Anything else you want to say?
No, but I hope this Wallace microphone hasn't been too distracting.
No one's listened to a word you've said. They've just been looking at Wallace.
Meth Wallace.
Meth Wallace. Nice. Good to have you home. Oh. Thank you, Wallace.
Thank you, Wallace. Peace out.